everyone, this is Sabrina. Welcome back to my channel. I'm glad that you're here. Today I'm going to be doing my 2022 book journal. I decided to splurge and get an Archer and Olive A5 notebook. And I love this one because it has a cat at night, and I'm such a night reader that it was just perfect. But I thought it would be fun to kind of look back on my other journals and kind of point out what worked and what didn't work in case that helps you or inspires you. Because I think last year I kind of found the perfect formula, and I mentioned that in my last book journal video. I just really liked the format and the pages that I picked. But first, let me show you. This was 2019, and I did a traveler's notebook. It's not finished, obviously. It was just a lot of work. I absolutely loved making the pages. I did most of it digitally and then just printed out and it assembled everything. So I had a monthly list, and then I would have all of the books, every single one of the books. And I believe there's still a few process videos for some of these. And I had a lot of fun making this, but like I said, I did not finish it because it's very time intensive to make, a review for every single book, right? So, and it's bulging, as you can see. So that is 2019. 2020, I really like the idea of journaling about my books and like keeping it in a journal like this. So this is just one from Michaels, and the reason I did not go back to Michaels this year is because the pages are very thin and the stamping bleeds through, and I don't like that, and I don't want that for my notebook. And also these Michaels notebooks, I think they have like 200 pages. I have no idea, but it's a lot of pages. And as you can see, mine is very stuffed. It's not quite finished. And again, a lot of these will have process videos. I didn't even finish my shelf, but you can just go look at these if you'd like. But I, again, had a lot of fun building these pages and making, the monthly calendars and just documenting my books. Okay, let's pick August. So when I went to August, I would put it all together, and then I would try to stick to a couple books and just give, a little snippet and then pick my favorites. Well, that wasn't really working because I had so many favorites. You can also see how the ink bled through a lot. So I had a lot of favorites this month, and this one was a really special book, and I had a friend die cut me something. I may finish this at some point just because I love this project so much, but I have most of everything set up in here to finish. It's just a matter of writing it down. But it's all in there, and I just love this journal. If you want a more in-depth walkthrough of this, I would love to know. So just leave that in the comment section below. I will do a walkthrough for 2021 when I'm finished with it. I went with JM Planning Essentials, these blue dot grid notebooks. I wound up needing 3. And that's okay. I'm waiting for the third one to come, and then I can finish up 2021. So this one has the cover page, the shelves, monthly favorites, 2021 books, and then some reading stats, and my Goodreads challenge. It didn't have enough books. I ended in November because I actually read more than I read in any year, I think, last year. It was a good year for books. And then the Reading with Heba challenge, which I really enjoyed, but the only thing that I ran into was in the middle of the year, or a good chunk of the year, I had already read the books. And so I didn't do very good with that challenge. I did good with the Rate the Romance. I'm sure there's more. I just have to see which of my romances that I read work. This is the Bloom challenge. This year in this notebook, it's going to get a 2-page spread. That way I have enough room to kind of spread out. The A to Z challenge, surprisingly, I did pretty good considering. I mean, the only letters left are the hard ones, J, K, X, Z, and Q, R, and N. N and R, that was surprising, but those are pretty good. And then I go into my monthly pages, and I really liked this format of just like an opening page for the month and then an overall like review of what I read. I am going to keep most of this and just an overview of all the statistics for the month, but I am going to dedicate no more, I have to tell myself this, no more than 3 pages of favorites, maybe 2, because I just had a really hard time picking them, and I'd love to add some more quotes and just go a little more in depth with instead of just one book. So that is my plan. So 2022, I have this Archer and Olive, a bunch of Feature Craft die cuts because I love them and I want to use at my stash this year. And I also have something really, really special to share with you. Let me show this to you. My bestie, Veronica, her husband is a graphic designer, and he made a picture of me reading, like an illustration of me reading, and I just about died. It is so stunning and so amazing. Albert is an incredible designer, and I'm so thankful. So I am going to add this to my shelf of my books. So I am excited to dive in, and I hope you guys have grabbed a snack or a drink or something, because this is going to be a little bit of a longer video. I'm going to do the cover in this album, and then I'm going to do the year of books. And the next page I will do is stamping all the shelves. That way you can see me put my girl on. I will probably use this door so that way I can flip out, because I want to keep it all on one page. It's my plan, those 3 pages in this video, and I hope you guys are excited to see this come together. And I am going to go ahead and switch over to voiceover and get to work. I hope you enjoy. I am starting obviously with the title page, and I don't think I mentioned this in my introduction, but I am using these titles that I printed off my computer using clear sticker paper. I figured it was something different, and it also made it easier as far as having to stamp all these different titles. I put this stack of books, and I wanted something stamped below it, and I thought I would do this stamp that said books I've read this year, but I didn't like how this stamp and the die cut were kind of the same shape. I don't know, it just bugged me. So I decided to go with this was a good read, which was kind of more of a rectangle shape on its side, I guess. I don't know, it just worked better visually when I looked at it. So the next page is going to be the tiny, tiny little covers that I do for the entire year. And I did a cursive font that said 2022 books. Yeah, 2022 books. And I did the books at the bottom. And I'll just add a little bit of stamping at the top and the bottom. So just stamped a little stack of books. And at the bottom, I'll stamp a little like vase of flowers and a sentiment that says good reads. Now, mind you, I realize that a lot of the stamps that I am using, well, at least the Feature Craft stamps, they're no longer available because the shop is closed. But I absolutely love these stamps, and I've used Feature Craft stamps for many of my projects, so I just had to use them again. I wanted to use them again, especially this plant stamp set that I had been waiting to have for a very long time. So I'm going to use that one to build my shelves, and a Studio Calico one, which is the main one for the books. Many years I have drawn my own books, but now that I have this stamp set, I can go ahead and use the stamp set, which makes it so much faster. So this is the folded paper. I did wind up ripping out a piece of paper from this actual notebook just because it's thicker, better quality, and I'm going to go ahead and fold it, and that way I can put my my picture, my amazing, gorgeous picture of me reading, and that can be on the right because I really wanted a bookshelf that looked like I was sitting in a library. So like bookshelves inside of a library, and I was reading in the library. So, and that is exactly what Veronica's husband Albert did, and I'm so excited to have this in my album. It's so special. I am drawing the shelves just with, a micron pen, and I am going to include one shelf above my head. And then when you open it, I'll have some more shelves. I did count up how many shelves I would need, or how many times I would need to stamp this set of books, and it's a lot because, like I said in my introduction, I read an amazing amount of books. 112 last year. I have no idea how I did that, but I did. I do read graphic novels and children's books, so that helps. So I am going to have to make another bookcase on the next page, just so that way I can get all the books. I really wanted to keep it to just one spread, but I couldn't do that, and that's okay. So on the other side of this spread, I will make another one and share that in a different video. So I took off the hinged portion, that way I could stamp the books on a piece of foam, and I also used a frame stamp set. It's like a picture frame gallery wall stamp set, but I turned one of them kind of on its side. That way I could make like a planter box, and used a Tombow to color it in, and then the little leaf stamp to put over the top of it. And I just love it. They're so cute. I love making bookshelves. If you guys saw my December daily bookshelf video, I think making bookshelves are just so fun. Digging through your stamps, trying to figure out what you can come up with as far as like books, reusing books. Like December daily, I wound up using like an I and then like a slash mark, I think too. So it's just so fun. And then figuring out how you can use your stamps for planters. Like here at the bottom, I used a square, and then I just put in some other flowers. I want to call them tulips, but who knows what they are. But I just love them, and I stamped another phrase on top of the planter that said quiet and cozy. I did have a little space next to that planter, so I am going to stamp a house on top of it, and it'll be like, you got to think of it as like a little decor piece on your shelf. So then that'll work perfect next to that little square planter. I'm finishing up with that, and then I'll flip it over and do the other top shelf above my head. And this one I'm doing another large planter, and I'm doing some plants that kind of overflow. Once I color it in, I am going to stamp another phrase, and the phrase that I'll pick is bookmarks are for quitters, because that is me to a T. I either never have a bookmark, or I don't want to stop reading. I don't want to go to bed, and I'll just keep reading. I did use this scratch piece of paper a lot, so that way I could get the stamping exactly how I wanted it, like the bookmarks. I didn't need the word bookmarks, so I covered it up with my scratch paper, or I just changed the length of the books, or I did only 3 of the books. Like this one right here on the top shelf, I had to make the books that were going vertical. I had to make those a little bit smaller, so I used my scratch paper. And then I'm just filling in the books, either stamping horizontally or vertically as well. I am going to make another stack of books down here. You can see I'm doing it right now, and I made it really small. It didn't quite turn out how I wanted, but that's okay. It's still there. Like I said, I do have to stamp a lot of book stacks to get all of the books. At least 100 is what I was going for, because that's kind of like my ultimate goal, is to read 100. I also took a stamp that said I read past my bedtime, and I decided to use that as a planter box for some flowers, and I love how that came out. I felt very ingenious and innovative with my stamp, because I just love that stamp, and it is so me to a T. I will have space next to that planner to add 2 more books, so that's what I will do, and once again using the scratch piece of paper. Gonna make another planter up at the top, and I'll just add in 2 different leaves. I love that leaf. What is it called? The monstera? I don't know. I'm not saying it right, but it's one of my favorite plants, and I can't have plants inside because of cats, so having them all over my scrapbooking will work. I had an itty-bitty space right here, and I decided to make a really tiny little vertical planter on the middle shelf. It kind of got a little squished, but I really like, you know, how I came up with that and kind of filled in that space because I didn't want any gaps. I am going to once again do the technique with the pieces of paper so that way I can stamp on my shelf, and because that stamp was one long horizontal phrase, but I'm going to make it so that way it is vertical and can fit right in that little planter. Color in the leaves green and then stamp the flowers orange. The top planner box is going to have that Latin phrase. I forget what it means, but I know it has something to do with books because it was on a book stamp. If you know what the stamp phrase is, just please leave a comment and let me know what that stamp phrase is. I noticed that I needed to add a few more books over here on the far right side, so I went ahead and did that. Used another marker to kind of fill in the bookshelves. It's kind of like a gray color, and I absolutely love how this came together. It is so awesome, and I had the best time making this, and now I can put my girl on top, and I can't tell you how thankful I am that Veronica's husband made it. It looks just like me. You can't really tell in the video, but it has freckles too, just like me, and I'm so thankful. So I added that, and I even had a die cut that said, "This is me." And I love it. And I hope you guys loved this video, and I'd love a thumbs up or a subscribe if you're new to my channel. I hope you enjoyed seeing my book journal come together. All right, have a great day. Bye.